You are live. It says I am live. Everybody, thank you all for joining us in this live stream, and thank you for your patience and for waiting. We're gonna be diving into some print on demand, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the one secret I want to share with you guys that your brands are doing. A lot of these new print on demand companies are starting to pick up. So this is going to be a great opportunity for those of you guys that are watching that are thinking about entering this space to enter it in a way where you could really compete and win. So if you're visiting us on this live stream, I'm going to be answering your questions. So make sure you guys drop them into here. In this video, we're going to also be doing a design tutorial. So I actually want to take you guys' comments, feedback. Let me know what type of design we should create in this live stream where we're going to go like step by step and do something in real time here. So throughout the tutorial that we'll be sharing on screen, I'll be answering your questions, but help answer mine first. What design direction should we take on a tutorial for designing so we can import that design into this one secret tool I want to share with you guys. So once again, thank you guys all for coming in and joining. I'm going to pull up some of the comments and some of the people that are currently here. We got the man Kevin Hawthorne. Kevin, we appreciate you for joining us, man. We got Kevin Hawthorne, Reese Smith, you recommend a good automated heat press. So yes, thank you guys. Keep dropping your comments, and we're going to be here. So the to start off, I think some of you guys it's cutting in and out. Okay, let's see what's going on. So I hear the audio's cutting in and out. Is that better? Is that is it cutting in, cutting out? Can you guys hear me on the live stream? Let me know if you guys can hear me here. But it sounds like we're getting audio over there. Let's see. Testing one, two, three. If you guys can hear me all right, let me know so we can continue the stream. I want to make sure that the audio is good. But we got Wayne Terlake from Guam. Really, really good to see you, Wayne. So hey, everybody, somebody else is cutting in. So let's figure out cutting in. It's cutting in. Interesting. Okay, so we got all the connections. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what do you do? Just throw the podcast mic. All right, we're gonna test something else on the audio. I want to make sure you guys can hear as well. Every time we test something new, it's very. So let me over. You can plug in right here. We're gonna fix this in real time, guys. If it's cutting in and out, there's no purpose of this being on. It's this one. Yep. So let's plug that one in. All right, we're gonna change mics real quick. Thank you guys for catching that. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah. Right. So now let me know. We're gonna cut off audio settings here. Audio Roadcaster. We're still rolling on the Roadcaster. So can you hear me now? Yeah, perfect. Guys, can you hear me? Because now I'm going to be holding on to this microphone. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Are we able to test this again? Head on over and see it. Head on over and see it in real time. Yeah. Cutting it out. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. So I think we got the audio fixed, and in real time, you guys see us trying to troubleshoot this. So let's jump into this now. What's really interesting is I'm gonna have to carry this thing around. So please drop your questions in the comments, guys. I'm only creating this live stream for you guys. I want to make sure I answer anything that you guys are currently going through. Questions that I think could really help right now is let me pose a question to you guys. What market are you entering for your brand? So is that something you have thought about yet? So comment down there on the market that you guys are thinking about entering. So is it going to be for an apparel brand? If so, what sport? Is it going to be for a skatewear or streetwear brand? If so, for what market? Is it more goth? Is it more surf kind of city? Let me know in the comments down below so I can better tailor this presentation for you guys because that's essentially what we're trying to do. All right, so as we begin this live stream, I'm gonna come right back over here and take this over. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off. All right, so now that we're here, let's head on over to the screen recording. What I want to do is I want to start with the design. So we're talking about how we're going to cover design first, and then we're going to dive into um, how you're going to utilize a tool that's going to be available to you guys that are watching this. So let's head on over here to present. Okay, so let's see. I got a skateboard apparel brand. Okay, Nino, what type of apparel brand? What type of skate? Is it more goth? Give me a little bit of insight. Would love to know what direction, which brand are you currently inspired by? Alright, so for the designing, when it comes to print on demand, guys, when it comes to printing anything, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is your print graphics, quality of your graphics, alright? So, your quality of graphics are gonna determine your final output of the print and how the printer actually exports it. Now, one of the most common issues and one of the most bad parts about print on demand is that you can't quality control every product that's going out the door. There's no way. You can't do it. You can order some samples and it can kinda come in and you can verify if it's gonna work, but for the most part, it's not going to you're not gonna be able to quality control everything that goes out. So the only thing you can do in regards to you as a brand owner, the best thing you can do is actually focus on making sure that you're providing the print shop with the best graphics. So graphics and the best resolution and all that sometimes it's a little confusing. So I wanna dive into on this. So right now I got Nino and I got Wayne. We got some surf, softball, LRG in early days, DGK. Okay, I remember DGK. Um, so we're gonna start with graphics. All right. So the bad part about print on demand is you can't quality control every single thing that goes out the door. You can't. There's no way to do it. But the way to make sure, or at least better position yourself into making sure that you give the print shop the best potential to make the best print is by giving them print ready files. What does that mean? I'm going to show you guys right now. So we're coming over here. We're gonna be diving into this Kittl board. Now, if you guys haven't already used Kittl, I'm gonna be linking them in the description below. So what you wanna do is the best part about Kittl is the fact that Kittl allows you to create print-ready graphics, and I'll show you guys what that means. So when it comes to designing anything, the key thing you really need to keep in mind is a DPI, right? There's something called DPI. And 300 pixels is really where you wanna be. So 300 DPI around a 5,000 to a 5,000 in terms of minimum, resolution, height and width. It's kinda where you wanna be. So let's create that. And the reason for it, DPI is really, really confusing, alright? So if you're joining us right now, you're wondering, "Okay, what is this guy talking about DPI now?" DPI is dots per inch. So what that means is that there's 300 dots for every square inch. Some random math like that. I'm not the best at math. But yeah, keep that in mind. 300 DPI, 5,000 by 5,000 is how you wanna start designing anything. Now, the beauty about Kittl is that it also allows you to do AI art, so it doesn't necessarily matter, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's AI because AI you can scale to all kinds of sizes, but I'm gonna show you guys just 300 by 300, 5,000 by 5,000, 300 DPI is really where you wanna be designing. And if you're working with a designer, you need to ask them to at least give you those resolutions as well as that DPI output when it comes to them sending you art. So I'll show you guys. So we got some examples if you guys are joining. We got a unique ink. Thanks for joining us. I'm asking you guys to drop your guys' brand. Let's go through some real case studies, designing, and showing you guys a really cool tool and a really new feature. So let's see which design we're gonna do. That's one of my I run into while testing out different print shops, the file. Okay, we're gonna solve the file type right now. So apparel streetwear brand, and we're gonna go with DGK. Okay, so early days of DGK. Now I'm not a designer, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use AI. Now this is really cool because we can actually create a certain style. We're gonna go with t-shirt graphics to make it easy. Since we're designing something, let's go. Um, I don't know how good AI would be, and DGK skateboard. So I wanna give so what I wanna do is I wanna find some verbiage and words that would describe what DGK is, right? So we got some, like, mushroom. Let's just try to go off of something that they recently launched. Even though you did say early days, let's go through some of this new design direction that they got. So we got the block, we got people on like a Grand Theft Auto type look. Okay, so let's head on over to this. All right, we got some shrooms type of thing happening. So let's go off of a shroom type of design. All right, so let's do. Um, we're gonna input into this AI some instruction to follow a shroom type of design. So let's go. Colorful, drippy, drippy shroom coming out of the ground with baby shrooms. Actually, let's go with a logo. So let's just go with one logo. Drippy style. Is that how you spell shroom? Let me know if that's how you spell shroom or not. Yeah, it is. All right, cool. Just want to make sure. Drippy style shroom coming out of the ground with psych. I don't know how to spell psychedelic. Psychedelic colorways. Smiling. All right, we're gonna go with t-shirt graphic. So when it comes to designing with AI, you want to take an approach of doing the least amount of words potential when it comes to doing something like Kittle. Now, it's really cool because they actually designed out their entire system to work really nicely with with beginner friendly type of stuff. So what this means is that you don't need to know all these like crazy prompts. What you need to do is you also just need to know what you want. So we just literally describe something. I think it works for the case of this example. Guys, let me know what you think about this graphic. Is it something that could work for it? But I think it kind of gives us the vibe. Now, just for us to continue this tutorial, but I think it works. So what's really cool, so like if you're doing AI designs, one of the things to know, guys. So if you're going to be working with AI and sending stuff to print shops, the very first thing you need to know is that when you export an AI graphic, what you'll see here, let me make sure you guys can see this. You see how this is kind of fuzzy? So, like, this is pixelated, all right? I don't need to so, like, what I this is important to know right now. If you're looking at this art, if you're just joining, we're talking about print on demand and how you need to get and what you need to prepare in order to overcome the obstacles. The first one being the print quality that you get from print shops. You need to be able to give them a really good graphic. So I'm showing you guys right now an example that if you zoom into this, all right? This is pixelated. Now, you may be wondering, okay, how do I verify if it's pixelated, if it's gonna work? Well, since we zoomed into it right now, that's roughly about the size that it may be on the shirt. So if you're looking at this graphic, this thing looks very pixelated. So when the print shop gets it, they're gonna print it, and it's not gonna look very good. Like, from far away, from a very small screen, this looks great, but when it comes to printing, you really need to zoom in to about the size that it's gonna be on a T-shirt. So, I have about a 10-inch screen, so I'm zooming in to fit it about 10 inches, and then based on that, I can see it's very pixelated. So what you wanna do, there's 2 options here, alright? So if you're working with another program that's giving you AI files, the very first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you realize that by using AI, you're not gonna get print ready graphics. So the next thing you gotta do the very first thing you gotta do is you gotta remove the background, alright? So the background needs to be removed because it's on white. Whenever AI, exports something, it's usually with a white background. So by making sure that it's by sliding it over, you can see that it has a transparent background now. Alright, the next thing you wanna do is you want to either upscale it or vectorize it. Now, this is a personal choice. If the graphic is a lot more, like, multicolor and it's very, like, a lot of gradients, it may not work to vectorize it. But if it's something like this, that it's a little bit more like, it has some color tones that could potentially be vectorized, then you could do image vectorization. Now, the colors, you wanna keep the colors to a minimum when it comes to vectorizing stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to separate these colors. We're gonna say yellow is 1, orange is 2, we got black is 3, this blue is 4, this other teal color is 5, And let's see if we can see any other color. Maybe 5 colors max. So let's see what that looks like. Now what this means is that it's going to vectorize on the amount of colors that are in your picture. So the more colors it has, the crappier it's gonna look. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the challenges with print on demand. The very first one being the quality control, you not being able to control it or see it. So how do you improve it? The very first thing begins with your art. So now as we did this, what you guys can see, and actually let me create a copy so we can make it easier to see. So I'm gonna create a copy of that and then drop it over here so we can see the differences between the 2. Now we're also gonna put together an artboard here just so we can keep track of the projects. We're just gonna go 5,000 by 5,000. All right. And now we're gonna move this art over here. All right, so we got the original on the left, and then we're gonna be tailoring the one on the right so we can, in real time, see what's happening when we start changing colors. So if you really like this colorway, chances are you could either upscale it, and if you upscale it, then I'll show you guys what that means. Upscale is essentially a way where it's going to take the image and it's just gonna give it more pixels. What does this mean for you? It means that you're gonna get a lot more dots per square inch, which means ultimately means that you could zoom into it and it'll be really good print. So sometimes you might get an image that you like and it has too many colors and it won't actually work for vectorization. So what you can do next is image upscaler. So now if we come over here, let's see, does this thing work? So we can see that it upscaled the image. It looks a little better. It looks better than it was. So if we come over here, how this looks versus how this looks sharper. It's not as pixelated anymore. But let's head on over to this one. All right. So now we're gonna vectorize this one. And we said 5 colors. Vectorize that. And once we have, so the very first part when it comes to print on demand and to overcome the struggles is to make sure that your art is as crisp as possible. So vector always works really nicely. So you guys can see the color difference here. This one's a little more red, this one's a little more pink looking, but the key difference that I wanna show you guys right now is when you zoom in, it's sharp. See that? Absolutely no fuzziness, there's no more issues there. So this is incredible, guys. So, if you wanted to change, so, like, we had 5 colors. So what we can do is we can actually do 6 colors, so it gives us more of a pink tone. We can separate the red. So what it's doing here is it allows you to select a different color. So let's go over here, copy this one, copy that one, paste it, and then we're gonna go with a 6 or 7 color. I'm gonna see what it does. And just play around with the amounts of colors for the vectorization. What you want is you want something that you can control and fully customize in terms of colorway. So if you really like the original vibrancy and all that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna vectorize and we're gonna do maybe 7 color. Just see what it does. So while it's doing that, guys, make sure you guys leave us a comment right now. Leave me a comment with a question that you're currently encountering. Where are you at with your brand? I asked everybody to comment what industry are they starting. Somebody mentioned DGK skatewear. So what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that we kinda create a design around that, and we're gonna show you guys how to take it into the print, and then we're also gonna show you guys a very new tool for print on demand. It's gonna change the game in terms of what you guys are working on. I promise you guys that. So make sure you guys are sticking around if you're just joining us on this live. Leave a comment with where you're at so we can integrate it into this little tutorial that we got going. Alright, Unique says, "One of my issues, so this will export as SVG files." Yes, it will. How is Little on mobile? Okay. How is Skittle on mobile? That's a good question. So let's see here, when we did 7 colors, it now looks exactly like the AI. It's pretty close. It's almost dead on. So we're gonna go with the 7 color vectorization. And the key difference is the fact that as you come in here, you wanted to change colorway, so now we got a red and a pink. Let's say we wanted to change this red to a purple or a blue or a green. You're able to change the colors however you see fit. So in this example, we came over here, and I was really inspired by this design direction. They got some greens, some pinks, some purples. Let's just change it up. Let's just change it up and do something similar. So we got some greens, we got some pinks, we got some purples. Let's figure out which one's gonna be purple. Maybe that one. We got some purples there. The yellows probably need to be a little more yellow, and then I wanna do some red accents here. Alright, this looks pretty funky. This looks pretty funky if you ask me, but if you got this, we're kinda going off of it. You could take it another step and upload it and color match based on designs, but we're not gonna go all the way there on the design thing. I just wanna show you guys the important first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that your art is vectorized or at the very minimum is super high quality so there's less pixelization. If there's less pixelization, there's a lot better print quality for you. Okay, so we're gonna go with this colorway, kind of a purple, pink, green. Maybe the green should be less highlighter green and a little more forest green. So let's go like that. And then same thing for the purple. Let's go like tone it down, something like that. And then the green, and then the yellow. Yellow can be kind of happy. All right, cool. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We're making this in real time. All right, so got my store domain last week. Setting up Shopify tomorrow. Did logo work as well. Reese Smith. Shout out to Reese Smith is out here killing it, guys. He started the Shopify, put his logo together. Winning, winning, winning. Share your wins in the comments below. It's always good to celebrate the small victories because the small victories are what gets us going every day of the week of the year. It allows us to keep on compiling. Wins after wins is what's going to build the business. If you're not winning and you aren't trying, you're not failing. If you're not trying, you're probably not going to win. And if you're not failing, it means you're not trying hard enough. So in this case, we got we got a nice win. All right, Reese, you're killing it, man. Uh, so now that we got this one, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna export. So what the main thing that we wanna try to do is fill up as much of the artboard as you can. It doesn't a lot of programs automatically crop, but I like to just fill it up, and then we're gonna download. So as you download, you can select the artboard that you want. So we're gonna download artboard 2. Now this is an important part of the step when it comes to doing print on demand, guys. You wanna export it into the right file type. There's a couple of different file types, and every print provider kinda gives you parameters as to what they want. But in order for you to save the highest resolution for yourself, it's going to be an SVG. Alright, so SVG is going to be the highest print resolution. Not every print on demand platform accepts it, but just keep that in mind. You always wanna save a copy as SVG for yourself. You wanna remove background, you wanna optimize quality. Now when you download it, it's gonna download to your folders, but it's hard to see an SVG unless you got Illustrator, one of those programs or another program on your computer. So what I like to do is I like to save it as a PNG as well. Same exact, removing background and optimizing quality. Alright, so now that we got our artwork, you can actually view it here real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this. I think you can. But this is the artwork, and it's going to look like this. So this is super sharp, guys. So I'm kind of buying me some time to see if this will play on your screen or not. Kind of on a delay here. But as you can see here, this thing is essentially where you wanna be. You wanna make sure that your files are always super sharp, and I don't think it's playing over there, so I think I'm just watching something. Let me stop share and present entire screen. Cool. Okay, now I think it should work. I think. I don't know, guys. I'm trying here. We're definitely trying out this new, screen recording system, but, yes, you can see it now. Okay. So what's important here is that you wanna make sure that your artwork looks crisp. And when it's a PNG, this means that it's gonna have no background, and it's okay if it looks black. But you always wanna verify that you do have a transparent background by zooming out and showing that, okay, there's like a gray type of background here. As I zoom in, okay, cool. So I think it should be good. All right, so now that you got the PNG, the next thing is to upload it into a new into the program where you're gonna print with. All right, so for this part of it, guys, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna head on over to Gelato. Gelato, not the ice cream, but the print-on-demand platform. It's just as tasty, but less creamy, less, that didn't come out right. I mean, just less food, more products. All right, how about that? All right, so what we're gonna do here is you're gonna head on over to the one tool I wanna show you guys. This is the one thing I wanted to talk about is the Personalization Studio. All right, the Personalization Studio is the one tool that's gonna change the game for print on demand, and for brands doing print on demand. And I just started talking about this a few weeks ago, started seeing a couple brands pop up in the space, and they're getting creative. I don't wanna go and share what they're doing because they put in the work, and I don't want everybody to just copy off of them, but I want you to take what I'm about to show you and come up with an idea that you guys have. Alright, so the Personalization Studio combines the power of print on demand mixed with the ability for your customers to personalize the products that you're designing. All right, so we just created a Shroom DGK inspired product line. All right, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to head on over to the Personalization Studio. And what's cool about Gelato is that you can install it onto Shopify, and we actually linked the link to sign up. You get 50% off. So once you guys create the account, I think within 3 days, if you order a product, you get 50% off the sample. So I encourage you guys to try it out for yourselves. So once you come in here and you hit Personalization Studio, and then you select what Shopify store you're connected to, what you can do is you can actually select a couple of different products that you could personalize here. So I've just realized I'm not sharing my screen. So let me start by sharing my screen here. Hold on, guys. And then got a couple different tabs. I need to move them all together. Right there. All right. Sorry, having some technical difficulties. All right, so let's share the screen. Share screen, entire screen. Okay. All right. Hold on. We're almost there. Okay, we got it. Cool. I think we're good. I think we're good. Every one of you guys that are watching, I appreciate you. We're definitely diving into some print on demand, the good, the bad, and the one secret. And I was just talking about how this one secret involves personalization, and the company behind it is Gelato, not the ice cream, but the print on demand platform. Now, when it comes to personalization, I don't think I showed it. So once you log in and create your account, you're going to see something here called Personalization Studio. Now, in the Personalization Studio, it's showing you a little bit about what it means, right? So let me zoom into this. Now, imagine you had this on a cup, and let's just say it was a skate-inspired accessory line. Maybe you had some cups, some tumblers, some posters, some art that you create, that you hand make, that you have into like a very specific niche, right? So you're creating designs for somebody, and now instead of them just buying those designs, you can actually allow them to customize, personalize it, and it becomes theirs. So let's head on over here and try it to show you guys and how art that you submit needs to be at a certain file type. So we're going to be going over embroidery as well as printing, just regular printing. So that way you guys can see the difference here. So to begin with, let's start with hats. Now, when it comes to embroidery, a lot of times people wonder, like, why is there limitations on embroidery? So let's start with headwear. Um, so let's go into this and let's choose maybe a trucker hat, adult 6 panel. Maybe it's more of a skate brand. Let's choose the product color. So when it comes to product color, choose a couple of different colors. So let's go with so it's more like DGK inspired. Let's go maybe this black one. Let's see. All right, maybe that one. Maybe that one can work. I don't know. Let's see. It's always good to have reference material. So we're gonna go over to our brand. Man, if only I didn't have so many tabs. Figure out what's going on. All right. Okay. So now we got this. Okay, so let's do more of a white and green. How about that? Let's go with like a green design. So let's go over here. Check that off. All right, we got a white and green. It's temporary out of stock, so guess it's probably selling out pretty good. So let's stick to the charcoal. All right. Once we got the charcoal, Now, what's cool is that you could choose the file that you want to work with. All right. So if we're here, upload it, browse files. You're gonna want to download the one that you just got. We got Artboard 2 PNG. Again, the SVG can also work. So new project SVG. And once we're here, it's uploading. And as it's uploading, guys, I want you to let me know. Help me build my Shopify store. So we got Bat G Gaming says, help me build the Shopify store. Unique is in the process of figuring out my avatar. Great. Love it. Love that you are taking the time to figure out your avatar. For those of you guys who are wondering what an avatar is, no, it's not like the Avatar Last Airbender. This is an avatar that's your customer, the person that's going to be the ideal persona that's going to be buying your products. A lot of times you want to launch a product line, and this is another issue with print on demand, is because it's so accessible and easy for people to use. You essentially just throw up any idea and something that you like and something that you think other people will like, and then it doesn't do well. Nobody buys anything. You don't really get any traffic, and it's really hard to market because anybody that you're trying to attract to buy or to market it for you doesn't really want to work with you because they don't necessarily see the vision. So by starting with an avatar, it allows you to pinpoint who that person is going to be. What are their interests? What are they into? What are they consuming? How do they grow up? What are they buying? What are they purchasing? It goes into more of the psychographics. And we had a live stream that was focused on the avatar earlier in the year. We're going to link it in the description down below, but you got to think about who the persona of this is. So if we're creating a DGK inspired skate brand, then is it going to be for the people that were into DGK when they were in their 20s or maybe 10 or 15 years ago, or is it a new generation that maybe their parents were into GGK, but now it's the teens that are going to be buying it, right? So the persona there is pretty similar. DGK as a brand had a certain persona, and it doesn't necessarily change. It stays similar, but the messaging and the designs that you got to create are got to be different because now it's a new generation. So you can't just keep doing what DGK did in the past. You got to create something new and come to market with something unique. So once we upload this file, you can see it's going to be uploaded here. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is when it comes to embroidery, this is probably one of the harder parts of print on demand. And the reason for it is because a lot of times people don't consider the intricacies of embroidery. Now, the one issue with embroidery is that it's gotta be stitch by stitch, guys. So everything for the most part is being stitch by stitch. What this means is that the more stitches, the higher the cost it typically costs you to make a product. But also the more colors and the more colors in the design mean that the stitch is going to be changing colors in between all of that. So it just becomes cluttered and it can look very messy. So when it comes to making embroidery files, so if you zoom in here, Gelano did a pretty good job in actually giving us previews when it comes to their embroidery files. Now, what this looks like here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks like a jobbled up piece of I'm not gonna say it. Doesn't look like it should. Doesn't look like a shroom. It looks like something that shouldn't be on the internet. Um, because it doesn't look good. This looks like somebody needs to get checked out at a clinic. But so for the most part, this isn't a good embroidery file. All right. There's too many colors. There's too much going on with the design. It needs to be something that's more sharp, it's more consistent. There's less of a color change because this does not look any good. No bueno. But for the purpose of this example, we're going to continue with this just so you guys can see what we're talking about when it comes to personalization. So embroidery, keep that in mind. Keep it simple, less colors, less objects in the design. That allows the embroidery to pop out. It's the reason why a lot of logos and things that are a logo or a brand are very like minimal, maybe one, two, three colors max. Because the idea is you want to be able to do multi prints, put it almost anywhere, and it can fit on any medium. The more colors it has, the less of a potential it can be to be a good logo. All right, so once we upload that, the way let's just say this was the design you wanted, right? And let's just say we're gonna put this on the left. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow somebody this is a very bad example for me, but I'm gonna try to get creative here. All right. So it's generating the preview. The size of the logo also affects the preview. So the bigger it is, the more detail they can put into it. The smaller the design, the less stitching can go through it. But you see this error? Your image has exceeded limitation of stitches. Try making it smaller or simplify the artwork. So yes, the bigger it is, potentially the more stitch that is needed, and it's not going to allow you to print. So let's see if that smaller design is good. And as yep, so that one's good. All right, and as we are going here, we're gonna say, so we got Map Gaming that wants to build a Shopify store. If there's anybody watching right now, drop your questions, anything related to print on demand to Shopify. Um, so you want to build out a Shopify store. We have a full tutorial on building out a Shopify store. It's a very intricate process. It's not that hard though, but if you follow the tutorial, you'll get it up. Once you have it up, you can do design installations and apps and all of that. And but yeah, so let's come over here. You can see that's how it's going to look. It's showing you here. You see these lines. You might be wondering, like, why is there a line here? All right, because of the fact that this white like, the way that the embroidery machine works is it's trying to stitch everything, and then it has to connect stitches to continue the design. That's why it's so important to keep your design simple, alright, because this would look like a mess. Alright, but as we're here, now we wanna do personalization, alright? So let's just say you have a DGK inspired brand, now you want people to be able to personalize it, alright? So editor personalization um or Shopify in-page personalization. Now, these are 2 different options. What's really cool is that it embeds it right into your Shopify store, and I'll show you guys what that means. So, editor personalization means that it goes up into an editor. Shopify in-page means they stay on your Shopify store. So we're gonna try the Shopify in-page. Now, as we come over here, you can add a layer, a personalization layer. Now, when it comes to embroidery, you don't want them to upload images because chances are you're gonna have to go through there and add a bunch of and clean up a bunch of art before it goes into production. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the ability for them to edit text. Now, text editing, again, you have to keep it simple, and what we can do here is we can put something like, let's just personalize it. Um, let's just call it Young, Dirty, YDGK. YDGK, that's the brand we're starting. All right, YDGK, Young, Dirty Ghetto Kid Mike. All right. So that's the personalization layer. Now, what you want to do, so you can see again, this doesn't look any good. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand it. Embroidery needs to be big. All right. When it comes to any type of font, depending on the font style you use, the embroidery will only look good if it's bigger. So we're gonna go to another font that also gives you the ability to be a little bit thicker in order for it to look better. So let's go IDGK Mike. That looks pretty good. Again, Gelato's doing a good job in giving you like where you might give some issues. All right. And you see the bigger we go, more issues it gives us. So this personalization layer will kinda give you a pretty good preview as to what your customers will receive. Product has too many thread colors. Please keep 6 or fewer. Alright, so yeah, the thread colors are kind of an issue. But let's just say that this wasn't an issue, and let's continue to mockups. You might get an issue, and they might tell you to clean up your art or reduce the colorways. Uh, continue to decay the details. All right. So when it comes to this personalization studio, guys, the reason I'm sharing it with you, this is a bad example, but I want to show you guys because embroidery is actually very hard to personalize. It's more of a simple type of process. Well, let's just say you made a hat. Now you made it available for people to personalize, or better yet, you made an accessory item or an apparel piece of item that allows the customer to upload either their own image or their own font to make it their own design. This is what the personalization studio allows you to do. So let's just say we did have a skate brand and we wanted it to be like a girlfriend gifting it to their boyfriend or vice versa or however it is. Um, it allows you as a brand to now create a personalized collection, right? So you can market it as, "Hey, buy the his and hers collection drop for Valentine's Day," or "Buy this." You keep it consistent across the year, and you have a certain category where people know that they're gonna come to your brand to personalize it and gift it for somebody. So in this example, once you upload the design here and the text, can now go to continue, saving, continue to prices, and retail price. You can see the product cost, shipping cost. So if you're selling it, and the beauty about personalized products is that you can actually sell this for higher than you typically would a regular product. And the reason for that is if somebody's coming to buy from your brand for a gift, they're willing to spend more on that person. It's not that price barrier of them shopping for themselves where they always want to get the best deal. If you have designs that people like and they know that if significant other shops from you occasionally, chances are if they see that, they're gonna go and purchase it at a higher price to gift them something that they know you're gonna like. So, once you come over here and you hit publish, it's actually gonna go right into your Gelato Studio, which is connected to the Shopify store here, and we are going to this is my first time, so while this is loading, I'm gonna take some of your guys' comments. Please leave your comments, any questions in the comments. So we got, Reese Smith, "My original question, I'm struggling with the decision to purchase a heat press to go along with POD." Such a good question there. Should you buy a heat press to go along with POD? Now, this is we're living in very interesting times today because you can buy a heat press, print some products, and make it on demand yourself, or you can also outsource to a print on demand platform and not have to worry about any of that. To that, I would say if you're thinking about buying a heat press, you need to know that you're able to make some sales coming from it. All right. So a heat press, whether you buy a $200 one or an $800 one, still an investment. And the $200 ones may not be the best return on your investment in the long run. So I would point you to a more of a mid-range $700 press as long as it has good reviews. And we'll actually link a couple of really good heat presses that I've had for like 5 years. And after 5 years, I start to have issues. But the first 3 or 4 years of us using them consistently were incredible. But a 5 year heat press at $600, you're talking like $100 a year, which is literally like less than $9 a month. And if you're using it every day, it's a great return on your investment. Now, when it comes to pressing, you need to know that the investment that you're putting into it is gonna have a return. So, print on demand is the most accessible way for you to actually launch it and test out your concepts. When you use a heat press, it allows you to drop new collections a lot quicker and allows you to be on a smaller budget and still launch products. Plus, you can also be your own print shop and service customers in your area. Now, the main thing is that you gotta have a space and you gotta dedicate a location to run it. Not everybody can, but if you have the ability to put a heat press somewhere and have your supplies ready and be organized in that sense, a heat press is a great investment for you to launch new collections. And then accessory items such as headwear, personalized products, mugs, all of these other items that I wouldn't recommend you making in-house can be outsourced to print on demand to fill up your shop. So it's not an either or, it's definitely something that you can do combined, which means you can press and you can also outsource with print on demand. So again, guys, all of these things that we talk about are all different tools in your toolbox that you can utilize to make money. All right. And this personalization aspect that we're talking about today is one of these underutilized tools right now because it's if you have an audience and you have a market, activating personalization is going to allow you to increase your actual sell price, which allows you to get better profits. Because with print on demand, you are limited on how expensive you can sell something. And sometimes, like you saw this hat. This hat was like $16. So if you wanted to sell it for 25 or $20, you aren't going to make much money. But if you allow personalization into it, now you can sell it for 27, $35, depending on how hype you can market your brand. So the question here is, so we got a question from BAP Gaming. Gelato is a mock-up website. No, Gelato is not a mock-up website. It's actually a print-on-demand platform that allows you to actually personalize products on demand. So let me show you guys. So now that we have this product here, this is a storefront, right? So this is how you can see it. So YDK Mike, you see the mock-up, okay? You see it, you see the products. This is our test Shopify store. So now as a customer, you would come in here and hit personalized design. So now let's say, hey, Mike, um, somebody else's friend wants to come in here and actually personalize it. So let's call him Joe Mama. All right, so Joe Mama wants to personalize a hat for himself, and he could see how it's gonna look, and he's like, "Yo, this is really cool. I want this to be mine now." And you could also select different images that they can choose from. So if this came in a couple different colorways, they could choose different colorways. But now they could personalize it, they can preview it all within your own store. So this is a game changer, guys, when it comes to print on demand, is because you can have personalized products on your store. And again, this isn't the best example. So what I want to do is I actually just want to take you guys to a platform like Etsy. All right, Etsy has a pretty good market when it comes to examples, and you can apply it to your own market. All right, so let's come over here and let's just say custom embroidered mama sweatshirt. So this is interesting because you can see here, this is a personalized type of product. Brooklyn, Dyson, Bailey, Bradley, right? So on here, you can personalize sleeves. The design stays pretty consistent. These things change. This is all personalization that you can do and recreate. So this is an example. Etsy's a great place to turn to when it comes to like, okay, how can I integrate it into my brand? Look at some of these top selling designs that are literally selling thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth every single month. So you can replicate something like this in your own market. I don't see it too much in streetwear and in clothing brands yet. I see it a lot more for some of the gifts you might give to your significant other, like your wife and your other spouse. But when it comes to brands, there's a couple that have been absolutely killing it in this, and I want to share it with you guys. But again, sometimes people just take ideas, and I like to see people run with their ideas. Once they blow up and they become super successful and they want to share it, I'll share it with you guys as well. But for the time being, we're gonna keep it under wraps. I'm giving you guys some ideas though. These are things that they're implementing. I just haven't put the time to make it look good, but I want you guys to make it look good. I want you guys to take this and run with it and create something for your own brand. Now, it works even better. So a lot of this personalization stuff works really good on like posters, mugs. When it comes to apparel, you got DTG printing, but you can also do phone cases. So if we went with like a phone case, and let's just go and let's throw the iPhone Pro. iPhone Pro is always interesting because you could essentially every new product released and drop from a phone, you can be one of the people to supply a phone case. All right, so let's do that, and then we can personalize it. Add personalization layer. You see this image. So you can also add other layers. Let's just throw this on here as a bad example. Wait, wrong one. Okay, hold on. All right, we're gonna keep that one. All right, there's a lot you could do in the personalization side. So I'm just showing you guys an example of a phone right now. So print on demand. The very first thing is making sure that you have good graphics. With good graphics, you can scale down or scale up. There's limitations to printing ability on certain products. So if you're doing embroidery, I showed you earlier that the more colors, the it's not gonna look that good. You gotta keep embroidery to a minimum. But when it comes to printing on like DTG, which is direct to garment, which is t-shirt full color, or even printing on like phone cases or posters or any other like wall art or even like hard goods, full color is perfectly fine. You won't have an issue with it. It's mainly just embroidery that there's a problem. All right, so then here you can either do add image. I don't know how to add it working. All right, we're gonna bring this in here. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. Go with Mike again. All right, you guys. So just showing you a very quick example of how this could work for you. Let's go to Mockups and let's do this one here. So Gelato does have some really good mockups for those of you guys that were wondering what are we using? Is this a mockup website? They do have some really high-end graphics, which is actually really cool. So I'll be taking you guys' questions as we publish this. But as you can see, if you sell a phone case for about $23, costs you about 11. And if you pass the shipping on to the customer, then you're making about 11 bucks. So let's just go on over here. Let's take some questions. All right. So we got this is my first time being here and I want to start making so this is from Solo Zero. First time here, I want to start making my own clothing brand. So I'll watch the Shopify to get started. Yes, watch the Shopify video and do a walkthrough of building out your own site. The power within. I'm currently looking into Printful. How would you rate them among other print on demand platforms? Every print on demand platform has a specialty. And I would say that Printful's specialty is the ability to print the majority of their products in-house. This means that you get a bigger catalog of products and you also get more consistency. Now, this doesn't mean that it automatically means that it's going to be the best quality amongst all print on demand platforms. It just means that it gives you the most consistency within colorways, products, selection, inventory availability, like they're in-house, so they operate their own shops. When you start doing business with other providers like Printify, for example, Printify is out. You can select print shops, so it gets a little confusing when it comes to you wanting to actually scale. You gotta like select the print shop and decide if you want to print it over here or print it on this facility. It requires some extra thinking. Now, when it comes to Gelato, what they do incredibly well is they've done an amazing job with their software. So the mockups that are there, the product selection when it comes to poster designs, mugs, like all of that is outsourced to other providers, but they're working with providers in the country or state that's closest to your customer. So this means that if somebody orders from New York, but your store is based in LA, it'll route to a facility in New York or close to New York that can ship the products that the customer ordered. This means they'll get it faster, and I recently did a video with them to see how fast they could actually do it, and I think they did it in, like, 6 or 7 days. I think 5 business days my products were in, which is roughly 6 regular days because it was a weekend on one of the days. Um, so yeah, they're very fast. They're actually really quick. So every print on demand platform has a specialty, and I would say that Gelato right now is absolutely killing it when it comes to personalization. Such an underutilized tool. Make sure you guys check them out. We're going to link them in the description, as well as the other resources like Kiddo and stuff that we use to show the design at the beginning. So we also got. I just joined the stream. How did you get to the point where you can customize and put it on Shopify? All right, so on this one, you connect the app. So to connect this design and personalization, you actually have to go to the Shopify store, the Shopify app store, um, and then connect it to your Shopify store. So from here, you'll have if you join to the links in the description down below, you guys, when you sign up for the website and you create your account, you'll actually get 50% off all of your first samples. You have to place the order for sampling order within the first 3 days of creating the account. But once you do that, you get 50% off of your sample order. This means you could try things out for yourself, see if you like it. Once you're here, you essentially just log in to install it. And once you install it, it'll give you this dashboard. From that, you head on over to the personalization studio, and then it'll publish it to the store. So it's pretty straightforward once it's connected. They did an incredible job in their software. Absolutely, always knock it out the park. You can now view it in Shopify. Actually, I want to pull up the other one we did. So let's go over here and let's go to the tough case. So they did an absolutely incredible job with their mockups and their design software. It just works so seamless. So in this example here, we can see the mockups, we can see the product. You can see that this looks really good. I mean, like from the art to the execution of it, super simple. You can make personalized cases now. And as the customer shopping for this design, they'd be either they probably wouldn't want to add it just to cart like that. Let's see what would happen. Yeah, they can add it to cart, so you do gotta make a good note, like, "This is a personalized design," or else you gotta reach out to them and ask them if their name is Mike or not. So once it's there, they can come in here and they can actually just order up the design. So what's cool is that since I did select that they can choose a design, Technically, they could also choose a different color, so if they wanted to do something else, they could throw it in here. So, like this one, for instance. So now that this one's uploading, they can upload their own graphics, which I may or may not recommend that because then you don't necessarily know what they're putting on there, but yeah, you can essentially be a print-on-demand platform for your own customers too. But let's just say I'm gonna as a customer, I'm using this image, and then I'm able to edit my name, so now I can preview it. And as I'm previewing it, I'm like, "Yo, I like this. I want this brand. I love the logo. I love the messaging. I wanna make this my own. I wanna buy it for my own case. I wanna buy it for my own artwork, for the poster that they sell, for the mugs, for the hats, for the shirts, for the hoodies." You guys could literally tailor how you could personalize product how customers can personalize their products for you. So we're gonna link them in the description. Great question. Um, what's your thoughts on Etsy and Printify? What so Jose Avila, Etsy and Printify. Do you have any videos on that? It's a great question. I don't have any videos on Etsy and Printify. Um, Etsy, Printify, Etsy Gelato, these are all tools that you could plug in. Great marketplace, an amazing place for you to get traffic, especially if you hit a niche, right? So the person that commented on this and was talking about, hey, I want to do like a DGK inspired design, and I want to do something in this market. It's a great product line if you could design something for it and you could start to create a niche within Etsy or within these other marketplaces. Marketplaces are always good. They definitely control your traffic and your business. So you always just want to treat it like a marketplace or a social media site, knowing that you can always potentially lose the store, but you're building out a client base and ideally you're bringing them over to your Shopify business either through an email campaign and you're able to start building out your own database. Great place to start and grow a brand though, so definitely consider it. Um, can someone send me the link where he walks through the process of making a brand using Shopify? I will link that in the description right after the live ends, so it'll be available on the replay, if you guys wanna check out, any of the resources that we mentioned in this video. Gelato itself is a store platform. How can customers buy products? No, Gelato is a think of Gelato like a Printful or a print-on-demand tool that plugs into your existing Shopify store. So what this means is right here on this store is our test store, right? So this is my Shopify store that we test a couple different concepts. You guys have probably seen it in some past videos, but this store is essentially where your products will be plugged into. So you see, I got this here. I got the phone case. Customers are now personalizing designs on my store. So Gelato is a tool that you can use to help customers personalize products on your store. All right. So this means that you can get really creative with your collections. You can make collections that are more personalized collections and start to get those repeat customers. You can market this as a feature and it doesn't cost you much. Literally, you can I think it costs you a couple, I think it's like 50 cents or a dollar per personalization, but it's something that you pay as you go. So you don't need to spend thousands of dollars of software. So there's brands right now such as like Polo Ralph Lauren that are doing this and they've paid, a I would say a couple 10,000, maybe 100,000 for the integration into their store. Show you guys. And as you come over here, you can see what they're doing. So let's go men's, and then there's like we have a category here that was like personalized from where I found it. It's like men shop now. Where's it at? So personalized sweater. So if you come over here, Polo Ralph Lauren is a pretty good example. Where is it at? Is it this one? One of these products was like a personalized shirt. This one? Create your own, yeah, so it has this create your own tab. So what it's doing here is that it actually allows you to personalize. This is literally what I just showed you guys, but you could see that you could personalize the color of the product, which is what you could do if you have multiple variants and colors within a product. You can have a customer pick the color of the shirt. You can have them pick the color of the logo. So like, okay, what logo do I want to give them? Like, hey, I want this logo. All right, so now we got that logo. It's kind of hard to see. So let me go with this one. And then there's a on this one it doesn't allow you to personalize the name, but there was one that I had where it allowed you to put the name on the back. So it's in here. I would look for Polo Ralph Lauren as an inspiration. Nike ID is another one. It allows you to put personalizations and names into it, guys. Take a look at some of these brands and what they're doing. They're allowing you to essentially use the same type of setup that a lot of these big brands are doing, but now you can plug it right into your Shopify store. So we're going to link their info in the description down below. And the promise of this video was print on demand, the good, the bad, and the secret. The secret is, can you create a collection that becomes something that you can market to your customer? Start by identifying your avatar, bringing designs into it, and then personalization, adding it as a tool that allows you to increase your profits, or at the very minimum, get that word of mouth going where people say, hey, I bought this from this guy or I bought this from this brand, right? Really get creative with how you design and what you create to make something that stands out from the competition. Because right now, the main question I always get is, is print on demand saturated? There's always room for new customers. There's a lot of fragmentation going, but with AI now, there's gonna be a even more brand starting than ever before, because at the beginning of this video, if you missed it, you would have seen that we were designing something in real time, right? And I gave it a couple prompts, and we did it in real time. There was no cuts, no edits. The design programs right now are getting absolutely insane, and for you as a brand to really overcome the fact that there's gonna be all kinds of people starting now, you need to be able to use tools like this, use tools like Reese was mentioning with the heat press mixed with the print on demand. How can you go faster to market? How can you get bigger profits on some products, but then start to build out collections on others? This is all things that you guys need to consider doing. It's not about just one approach. You got to take a multifaceted approach. But begin with identifying who your audience is, what products are they going to like, designing good graphics with high resolution. So by the time it goes to print, it looks great because you can't control the quality of print on demand, but you can control the art that you give them. And the better the art, the less chance it's going to look bad. So, yes, like Unique said, this is such a game changer. It's absolutely a game changer, guys. And I wanted you who came here today on a Tuesday night to watch this live stream to get an upper hand on everybody else. All right. And I really hope that you guys implement this. And I would love for you guys to share it with me on Instagram. Send me a DM. I've already made a disclaimer that I'm not going to be showing anybody's new store builds unless you want me to, unless you want me to feature it. I won't be showing anything that you share with me, but I'm more than happy to give you guys my feedback, my insight, what can make it better, how can you better position it. If you're watching this right now, I encourage you guys to join our free community, which is linked in the description right down below. Right after the replay, you guys can get that. A free community where we always post new articles, and it's a place where you guys can connect. I think that's the coolest part about it, is that people are connecting within there, building networks within their own city. It's a great place for you to start building a good circle. So if you're not already a member of our community, make sure you check it in the comments down below. It's free, and it also comes with an apparel game plan. And as I mentioned, for those of you guys that are watching, we actually are going to link a special link. So the link that's included down below for Gelato, it's gelato.com/John. Use that to sign up and you get 50% off your samples. So definitely go ahead and do that. Take advantage of those discounts. Start sampling your products. Make the most of your time and efforts. Continue to build your brand from the ground up. Appreciate Reese, Unique, Bat Gaming, Solo Zero. We had everybody in here. Appreciate you guys for coming on today. I'm really excited to see what you guys create, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And now, gotta figure out a way to stop it.